Hello, what's up, YouTubers? So this is my max effort upper workout I'll be going over with you. Again, the warm-up, I've done the other warm-up stuff already. This is a great workout for me because I hit a 385-pound bench PR, closing my way towards 400. Well, that was always the goal, but I don't know, it's getting more and more real, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm maintaining right around 204 for my body weight right now. We're about 9.5 weeks out from the meet that Jen and I decided on, the one up at Super Training. So I'll compete in the 198 class for that. I'll probably start dieting about 4 weeks out. Eric wants me dieting 3 weeks out, but I'll get a little bit of a head start and cut some of the other stuff out. So I did a little bit more today for warm-up than I usually do, just because, you know, I kind of want to be ready for this big lift that I know is coming up. So I've got some band pulls in different planar directions, and that one was a little heavy. That's a mini, so I switched to a TheraBand that I have, which is basically flat and really thin, so that I can just speed things up and just get moving. Band dislocations, and then I do the variation where just one of your arms is coming up and over. And since this isn't the last workout, I'll take this moment to talk a little bit about the Westside program and how successful it's been for me. I've kind of been playing some things by ear and adding some things, so it hasn't really been a static program. It's been changing quite a lot for me based on the suggestions and opinions of my trainer, of my training partner, and of myself, and kind of gut feeling to see how far should I be pushing myself on different days and how much rest time should I take in between. I still don't think it's far from optimal. I'd like to have less off days and train a little bit more consistently and just you know, suck it up and get back in the gym. But, you know, my schedule kind of keeps me away sometimes, and I've had to go out of town to Las Vegas to coach volleyball tournaments a few times. All that aside, the program setup is really successful. And I've got basic Westside setup, dynamic bench, max squat, off/cardio day, max bench, complete off day, dynamic squat, and then some calves and GPP. So this is me still warming up. I'm just doing some light pull downs here. Thought I'd introduce some variations on some exercises you might have seen. So Jen and I were playing around with a way to keep my elbows in when I'm doing tricep skull crushers. So you'll see a variation there. I recently picked up the tougher voodoo floss, the X-Band voodoo floss from Rogue Fitness for some of my athletes, and restoring some of that range of motion, adding lots of compression. It's good. I kind of feel like if you're any coach or if you're any personal trainer, this is something you should just kind of keep in your bag, one of each of them. It's a good investment, and you really only need to buy it once your entire life, and then you can immediately put compression on anyone that either tweaks something minor and start speeding up that recovery process. Alright, so I talked last time about widening my grip. I've got pinkies on the ring right now, and this feels really good. I don't think that I'd be able to go this heavy if I hadn't widened my grip slightly. And I think any wider than this really would start decreasing gains. But there we have it. I've been getting a little bit more technical with my setup. I set my feet first, then I set my shoulders, then I brought my thumbs underneath, and then I bench. Jen's always reminding me about pushing my feet down into the floor and about squeezing my glutes. Those are kind of things I forget, because I'm thinking so much about my upper body and just, you know, pressing. But the more I look at it, the more it really is a whole body lift in just a different way than, let's say, a deadlift or a squat. I'm kind of starting to see what some of these guys are talking about when it comes to just being really a whole body lift, and that you need tension along your entire posterior chain all the way up and through a really tense upper back. So here I am at 355. This used to be my PR. I mean, this is the last weight that I hit at a meet. So I mean, for me to do this on my way towards my 1 rep max is astounding. Here we go for the 385. I would have liked to have paused a little bit longer, but I'm pretty good with the speed coming off. I'm pretty good with the setup. And you know, I'm hoping I can continue to make some linear gains here. put 390 on the bar. The next week, put 395, and then, you know, essentially in 3 weeks' time, get that magic number 400 for me. So it got pretty grindy up at the top, but that's what last week looked at for 380. So, you know, getting up there. Okay, so we both kind of talked and we decided I should do some back off sets. So I've got 3x3 here with 315. I think I may have only filmed one, but you get the idea that it just wasn't enough volume just hitting the PR alone, so I've added some sets as well. My next assistance exercise is some decline bench. I really don't like this if I can't have someone hand it off to me because I'm short and it's a really awkward angle to lift off. But I couldn't really come up with an acceptable substitute for this today, so here I am. By the way, if any of you guys get a chance, go down to Meet in Corona this coming Saturday, the USPA meet. I've got a few friends competing there and I'm hoping to make it out. Okay, so I picked these up from Rogue Fitness. These are minis, 12-inch bands. And I'm putting a few of them around my elbow underneath, stretching them out just a little bit and getting my elbow underneath there. This is great for keeping your elbows together. You think that skull crushers are hard, give this a try and see if it changes things. It definitely did for me. You know, I normally do 4 sets of 8 reps here, and I was having a hard time on the second and third set simply getting 5 reps. So it really helps drive those elbows together. And I can imagine getting some flexibility work in here if I were to put even more tension around my elbows and widen my grip, you know, kind of similar to emulating a front rack position and increasing some flexibility there. I know K-Star's talked a little bit about that when it comes to mobility work, but that hasn't really been brought up in, I don't know, the past 6 months to a year or so, so maybe it's off the table for now for him. I can't even set the bar down, I just kind of have to drop it. So it wasn't quite enough tension, so I added a micro as well. So now I've got 3 bands just underneath my elbow on both sides and stretch it across and put the other one on. For anyone that's picking up the Voodoo Floss from Rogue Fitness, I added these just so I didn't have to pay for shipping because 3 ships free. And it's a great way to, you know, get something extra since shipping would probably be the cost of these bands anyways. Setting up there is probably the hardest part. So I'm really trying to stay strict on this and keeping my elbows forward of vertical, I guess you'd say. So it stays more of a tricep movement and less of a shoulder chest movement. And I did 3 sets, but I've just filmed 2 of them here. Last one we're on is T-bar rows. I've been trying to do more of my assistance work and warm-up sets without a belt. And spending a lot more time on my rectors and back because I feel that's going to have a lot of transfer over into the deadlift for me. So no belt here, no belt for a lot of my squat warm-ups, no belt for a lot of my deadlift warm-ups. I really want to try to strengthen this. And again, I'm prioritizing flat back here. These these reps weren't as strict as I'd like, but you know, they're okay. I'm putting some pretty heavy weight for me here. I've been up to 6 plates before in the past, but that was quite a long time ago. So I'm working my way back up, and I'm continuing to prioritize my low back in terms of mobility, strength, especially as I move through reverse hypers and some other things. Okay, so to cool off, I'm finishing with some of the mobility work that I don't want to do before training lower day, because it'll really weaken performance if you start doing the split stuff before you end up working out. I really like this more and more. I've started incorporating it a little bit after my workouts when I have some time. So I'm just kind of hanging out here. I'll find some different corners that aren't comfortable and hang out there for a little bit. I'll experiment with foot angle position. I'll duck toes out. I'll lean to my left, I'll lean to my right. I'll sit my butt backwards and, you know, just kind of start to get deep in that stretch a little bit. My phone there is the timer for me. I'm going about 3 minutes total here. before I get up and switch to the second mobility exercise. And I found that it's nice for me to do the mobility work that's going to be for the next group. Oh yeah, nice dance moves. So for instance, you know, if I just finished a leg day and I've got a bench day for the next workout, I'll do some shoulder mobility, you know, to kind of free up myself for the next day. So I'm kind of trying to stay one day ahead of my workouts in terms of mobility. Hip flexors with me is a big one. I really wish that I could be more comfortable in this, so I've been spending a lot more time on here. This and ankle mobility are probably my two biggest weaknesses. And I like a pad so it doesn't hurt the edge of my foot. I'd say it's up about 8 inches high. Second variation, we get that shin segment all the way down and kind of try to fold over a little bit more. Alright, that is it for today. Busting PRs. I'm working hard, preparing for meet. See ya.